Assalamu alaikum. In this session, we are going to discuss some interesting facts related to the cities, the role of industrial districts, and the two theories that explain the concept of urbanization, or they explain why migration takes place and what happens if migration continues to take place. So the first thing which I am going to discuss with you is the role of cities. So you must be thinking that what is meant by a city, या city को हम define कैसे करते हैं. So वो areas जहाँ population density relatively large होती है, those geographical locations are called cities. And when we look at the cities from the development economics perspective, we see that in cities there is a large number of people who are living, and that is considered as a positive indicator that there are going to be more people who are available or are willing to become a part of the labor force. और जहाँ labor force की तादाद ज़्यादा है, naturally वहाँ ज़्यादा prospects हैं कि वहाँ industrial expansion या industrial activities ज़रा ज़्यादा बड़े level के ऊपर आसानी के साथ हो सकते हैं. लिहाजा we observe that in whatever part of the world हम ऑब्जर्व करते हैं, डेटा लेंगे तो हम देखते हैं कि जहाँ भी अर्बन एरिया में ज़्यादा डेवलपमेंट हुआ है, लोगों का प्रेजेंस ज़्यादा होता है, जहाँ हमें इंडस्ट्रियल डेवलपमेंट या इंडस्ट्रियल एक्सपेंशन ज़्यादा देखने को मिलती है या ओवरऑल इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ ज़्यादा देखने को मिलती है, वी ऑब्जर्व दैट within those areas there is a higher population density that is located. So therefore we can establish a link between urbanization and economic development or economic growth, particularly when we see that we are observing the growth in terms of increase in the GNI per capita. So therefore it is important to analyze and understand the role of cities. So सबसे पहली बात जो कि cities के होने की वजह से हमें इकोनॉमिक्स में या डेवलपमेंट इकोनॉमिक्स में हमारे फायदे की है, दैट इज अ सर्टेन फिनोमिनन व्हिच इज कॉल्ड एग्लोमरेशन इकोनॉमीज. सो एग्लोमरेशन इकोनॉमीज का मतलब है, जैसे आपने इकोनॉमीज ऑफ स्केल पढ़ा हुआ है, इकोनॉमीज ऑफ स्केल, बाय इकोनॉमीज ऑफ स्केल वी मीन दैट when we continue increasing the level of output and we for that naturally जब आप output को increase करना चाहते हैं तो आपको factor inputs को increase करना पड़ता है. So अगर आप अपने factor inputs को double करते हैं तो आपका जो total output है वो if it becomes or gets more than double, या increment in the total population becomes larger than the increment in the factor inputs which you have used in order to produce that. तो हम कहते हैं कि जैसे जैसे आप ज़्यादा higher level of output के ऊपर या production को produce करने जा रहे हैं, आपका per unit cost fall कर रहा है, and that is called economies of scale. Similarly, in the context of cities, when we establish a link between the role of a city and economic development of that city, for example, we see that there is this phenomenon taking place called agglomeration economies. Agglomeration का मतलब होता है जमा किया हुआ. So आपने क्या agglomeration किस चीज़ का किया है? That the industrial entities are established in a certain area and we are calling that, for example, कोई एक शहर है जहाँ ढेर लोग रहते हैं और वहाँ पे कुछ इंडस्ट्रियल यूनिट्स भी इस्टेब्लिश हुए हैं. सो एग्लोमरेशन इकोनॉमी को मैं इस मिसाल से एक्सप्लेन करने की कोशिश करने जा रही हूँ. सो वी सी दैट इफ देयर इज अर्बनाइजेशन, the size of the people, the total population of a certain city or an urban area is growing rapidly, and there we observe that there is this good thing also which will be there कि आपका जो firm to firm या firm to consumer जो आपकी transportation cost है, that will be lowered significantly. वो काफ़ी कम होगी क्योंकि आपका consumer भी वहाँ बैठा हुआ है, आपका जो laborer है वो भी वहीं ही पास में ही located है, और आपके जो प्रोडक्शन एंटिटीज हैं जो वो भी आसपास फॉल कर रहे हैं. सो इफ फॉर एग्जांपल आप एक फर्म एस्टैब्लिश किया हुआ है, आपके लिए काफ़ी इंक्रीज आ गया है डिमांड में जो आप चीज़ को प्रोड्यूस कर रहे हैं, इफ़ यू आर अनएबल टू सेटिस्फाई द डिमांड तो आप नियर बाय फर्म से एक्सेस मटेरियल को प्रोड्यूस करा के आप उस ऑर्डर को टेक अप कर सकते हैं एंड यू कैन रीप प्रॉफिट्स, यू कैन अर्न प्रॉफिट्स यूज बाय सेटिस्फाइंग दैट पर्टिकुलर डिमांड विच कैन बी देयर फ्रॉम द मार्केट. बट अगर आपके अड़ोस पड़ोस में या उस विसिनिटी के अंदर या उस शहर में आपसे रिलेटेड प्रोडक्शन वाले लोग नहीं है तो नेचुरली you will be finding it hard to expand, you will be finding it hard to expand and grow at the same time. So अगर आपसे similar firms आपके इर्द गिर्द मौजूद हैं तो देन ओवरऑल पूरी की पूरी इंडस्ट्री के फ्लरिश करने के या ग्रो करने के चांसेस या प्रॉस्पेक्ट्स ज़्यादा बढ़ जाते हैं अगर फर्म्स काफ़ी ज़्यादा तादाद में कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड हैं इन अ सर्टेन एरिया. सो दिस results in industrial districts, which I am going to discuss with you in detail later on. But we are seeing that whenever there are cities that are larger, we see that there is this economies of agglomeration that help us in maximizing the profits, maximizing our level of satisfaction if you are a consumer. So overall there is some sort of positivity because of this accumulated thing के होने की वजह से हमें economies मिलते हैं. Plus ढेर सारे firms एक ही जगह पे locate होने की वजह से another advantage is that आपको skilled labor बहुत cheaply और आसानी के साथ available हो सकती है. Plus you can also see that if some other firms are offering some programs जो कि skill enhancement के हैं, if they are spending some money on the improvement of the human capital of the labor force which is working with them, तो आपकी फर्म का भी फायदा पहुंच सकता है कि आप उन लोगों को अपने लिए हायर कर सकते हैं later on, and this kind of a number of these kinds of positive things can happen and they lead to or explain the agglomeration economies which I was just mentioning. So another important thing is that firms can also learn or they get advantage from the spillover effect from other firms that are situated nearby और या उनके आसपास जो भी firms हैं, even if they are not producing the same thing which you are producing, फिर भी आपके ऊपर कोई पॉजिटिव स्पिलओवर्स आ सकते हैं, फ़ायदा आपको पहुंच सकता है कि जो कोई भी किसी किस्म का ट्रेनिंग मिला है या लर्निंग बाय डूइंग हो रहा है तो उससे भी आपकी जो इनएफिशिएंसीज हैं वो चले जाएंगे, वो निकल जाते हैं एंड यू कैन वेरी इजीली लोकेट द स्किल्ड लेबर दैट आर कंसिडर्ड टू बी मोर एफिशिएंट. बट इफ द ओवरऑल सेटअप इज़ नॉट डेवलप्ड इन दिस वे, वो लेस डेवलप्ड है या वहाँ बहुत स्कैर्सली लोकेटेड फर्म्स हैं किसी शहर में, so naturally you will be having issues with identifying the skilled labor, and there could be a number of other aspects also which may reduce or retard the growth process of your firm. And therefore we say that in cities it is always advantageous to locate your business entity in cities where access of skilled manpower or skilled labor force is not an issue और वो आपको facilitate करती है in one way or another. Another important thing is that अगर आप सिटी में बेस करके अपना बिजनेस वेंचर बैठे हुए हैं, वहाँ के स्कूल्स, कॉलेजेस वगैरह और साथ में अस्पताल, हेल्थ फैसिलिटीज़ आर आल्सो डेवलप्ड, देन आपको बहुत ज़्यादा एक्स्ट्रा पैसा अपने लेबर के वेलफेयर के ऊपर स्पेंड करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है बिकॉज ऑफ दीज फैसिलिटीज़ दैट आर ऑलरेडी अवेलेबल विद इन दैट लोकेशन. सो दैट इज़ ऑल्सो an added feature which can be utilized for your expansion and for increasing your profits. So because of these so many positive things, we see that most of the industrial entities are either located within the urban areas or they are located closer to the urban areas. So अभी मैं agglomeration economies की बात कर रही थी. We can further split agglomeration economies into two different categories. One is the urbanization economies and the other is the localization economies. By urbanization economies, I mean that because of a certain concentrated geographic region, you can have an easy access to having different types of technical expertise और वो एक ही जगह पे located है geographically, इससे आपको काफ़ी economies advantageous economies आपको मिलेंगे. And at the same time there is second category of economies जिसके लिए मैंने अभी आपको term बताया, that is localization economies. By localization economies we say that in the certain locality or in a certain city where you are working or operating your business entity, there may be disadvantage. जैसे अभी थोड़ी देर पहले मैंने बोला था कि hospital schools वगैरह हो सकते हैं. Similarly from the economic perspective, localization economies का मतलब है कि आपको agglomeration effects reap करने को मिल रहे हैं, which is being captured because of the presence of certain other sectors that are also developed. For example, आप एक ऐसी जगह पर रह रहे हैं या अपना business venture को operate कर रहे हैं या आपने एक firm को establish किया हुआ है जहां financial sector जो है या banks बहुत nicely develop है, या जहाँ पे जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है, कम्युनिकेशन की जो फैसिलिटीज़ हैं, या आप कहें कि ऑटो इंडस्ट्री बहुत नाइसली डेवलप्ड है और मैं उसका कोई स्पेयर पार्ट का काम करने जा रही हूँ. सो मेरा फर्म स्पेयर पार्ट्स को प्रोड्यूस करती है और मैं जिस सिटी में लोकेटेड हूँ मेरी फर्म, वहाँ पे जो ऑटोमोबाइल इंडस्ट्री है वो काफ़ी हाईली डेवलप्ड है. पीपल हैव गॉट वेरी सोफिस्टिकेटेड कार्स एंड वहाँ पे काफ़ी अच्छा वाला नेटवर्क है उन कार्स को ठीक करने के लिए या उन कार्स को रिपेयर करने के लिए. एंड देयर इज ऑटोमेटिकली अ बिगर मार्केट फॉर मी देन इफ आई एम ऑपरेटिंग इन स्पेयर मार्केट. सो दिस काइंड ऑफ एग्लोमरेशन इज कॉल्ड द लोकलाइजेशन economies, that because of certain other business entities that are nicely developed, they are also adding positively towards my expansion and my growth. So within cities we see that these kinds of things are there, because of which we see massive increase in urbanization taking place or massive increase in the migration from the rural areas towards the urban areas. So I just mentioned there could be spillover effect, and another important thing which we have to see is that the governments can also provide some sort of financial and economical benefits to the firms that are already operating in these cities. And we see that this the thing which is officially termed as the urban bias, that governments always try to facilitate the industrial areas or the cities that are already developed, and they encourage the investment to take place in a greater quantity, and they facilitate by giving some facilities from the financial sector also, and like the overall infrastructure can also be developed by the government, and that also contributes towards increase in these agglomeration economies, and that would definitely help in enhancing or expanding the size of the business ventures that are already operating, and it will also attract some other investors also to spend more, to invest more money and to set up new ventures in these areas. So because of these so many things taking place together, we see that cities में हमें जो इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी है वो ज़रा ज़्यादा बड़े मैग्नीट्यूड की ऑब्जर्व करते हैं हम इन सारे वजूहात की वजह से. एंड इफ ऑल दीज डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ थिंग्स आर कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड इन अ ग्रेटर क्वांटिटी इन सर्टेन एरियाज, वी सी दैट द सिटीज आर देन ट्रांसफॉर्म्ड इनटू द इंडस्ट्रियल डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स. सो आई एम गोइंग टू टेक द एग्जांपल इन द कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ पाकिस्तान. आप देख सकते हैं कि हमारे पास जो इंडस्ट्रियल डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स के तौर पे हम मिसाल ले सकते हैं गुजरांवाला की, सियालकोट की, Karachi ki, where again we see that whatever growth or development has taken place, for example in Sialkot, that is not exclusively because of the investor who is sitting in Sialkot, right? So it is majorly because of the agglomeration economies, due to which more and more investors got concentrated in that area, and at the same time the government also helped them and facilitated them by providing facilities that helped them in further expanding themselves. So you can see that they declared that particular area as an industrial area, and a lot of tax holidays and tax relaxations or tax exemptions were given in the beginning to facilitate the investor to expand their setups. And overall, now when we see Sialkot, we see that it can be considered as an industrial district or a hub of different types of industrial activities taking place in that area. So you would see that a large number of people from the nearby shanty towns or nearby villages move towards that, and we see urbanization taking place. We see a huge migration from the rural area towards the urban area taking place, but at the same time we see that there is an overall expansion in the industrial sector that is located within this district, and there were spillover effects, both positive and negative, and that helped in further expanding the overall industrial setup that was established way back in Sialkot. So this is an example of whatever I am discussing with you right now. So eventually we see that although, like, if you get into the history of Sialkot, you would see that there would be very few business entities who would be dealing with the production of the sports goods and the surgical instruments. But now when you look at the overall expansion of these hundreds of entities and units that have been established by now, producing these different categories of the sports good and the surgical instruments, we see that this massive expansion has taken place. And although we see that it is majorly pushed because of this urbanization taking place, and we see that there is this hub that has been developed of the skilled manpower which are concentrated in that area. So if you are going to set up a business of your own and intend to produce some sports stuff or some surgical instruments, it will be easier for you to locate the skilled workers that you need if you have decided to get into this kind of a business area in Sialkot, as compared to if you have decided to start up with the same kind of a business in any other part of this country. So these are the things that help us in understanding why in certain areas we see the presence and the expansion of the industrial districts. Another important thing which we observe is the presence of clusters. So we see that although, जैसे मैंने अभी आपको बताया, that industrial districts can be developed in certain areas of a country, या जो cities हैं जहाँ आप concentrated देखते हैं industry को, वहाँ ही हमें इस पूरी की पूरी सिटी को हम देख सकते हैं कि वो एक सर्टन तरह की इंडस्ट्रियल एक्टिविटीज़ में पार्टिसिपेट कर रही है, या वी ऑब्जर्व दैट देयर आर क्लस्टर्स विद इन अ सर्टन सिटी जो कि किसी एक ख़ास चीज़ के प्रोडक्शन में एक्सेल करते हैं या स्पेशलाइज करते हैं. सो द एडवांटेज ऑफ हैविंग सच क्लस्टर्स और इंडस्ट्रियल डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स इज दैट they contribute towards increase in the efficiency not only of the labor force but the overall जो भी आप production process को follow कर रहे हैं, हम वहाँ देखते हैं कि because of this presence of clusters या industrial districts के होने की वजह से हमें जो wastages हैं या inefficiencies हैं वो काफ़ी control देखने को मिलेंगे, and we see that a higher level of efficiency is achieved wherever we see that presence of these clusters is there. और हम देखते हैं कि कोई एक डिस्ट्रिक्ट है या सिटी है जो कि इंडस्ट्रियली डेवलप किया गया है और उस इंडस्ट्रियल डेवलपमेंट की वजह से आपके जो लीकेजेस हैं या इनएफिशिएंसीज हैं या जो आपके इनएफिशिएंट लेबर फोर्स हो सकती है या आपके पास इनएफिशिएंसीज इस तरह से आ सकते हैं कि आपको अप्रोप्रिएट स्किल वाले इंडिविजुअल्स नहीं मिल रहे, राइट. सो इफ यू हैव गॉट this clustering thing that is taking place or taken place in your country, then you are able to reduce the inefficiencies that may be associated with the production process that can be controlled. But at the same time we observe that although हमारे पास ऐसे के काफ़ी सारे success stories observe करने को मिलते हैं all across the world, जैसे मैंने अभी आपको सियालकोट का एग्जांपल दिया, गुजरांवाला का एग्जांपल दिया, कराची को इसी तरह से इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर बनाने के लिए बहुत डेवलप किया गया था इन पास्ट। फैसलाबाद की एक और एग्जांपल है जहां टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री के क्लस्टर्स आपको देखने को मिलते हैं। सिमिलर टू दिस अगर आप पूरे दुनिया में देखेंगे तो वहां आपको कुछ ढेर सारे इंडस्ट्रियल डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स या क्लस्टर्स देखने को मिलेंगे। बट द सैड थिंग इज दैट इन अ नंबर ऑफ डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज वी डोंट सी टू मेनी सच एग्जांपल्स। जैसे पाकिस्तान में मैंने अभी आपको बोला, यू कैन काउंट देम ऑन योर फिंगर्स, वो दे आर सो फ्यू इन नंबर कि आप उनको बहुत ज्यादा बड़े एक्सटेंसिव लेवल के ऊपर लेके डेवलप नहीं कर सकते बिकॉज ऑफ सर्टन प्रॉब्लम्स विच आर बीइंग फेस्ड। सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम ये होती है कि आपको जो क्रेडिट फैसिलिटी नहीं बहुत अच्छी तरह से अवेलेबल होता, एंड अगैन द स्किल्ड मैन पावर इज अनदर लिमिटेशन। सो automatically these clusters get developed due to this agglomeration economies के इकट्ठे हो जाते हैं सारे के सारे वो factors together at one place जो कि एक advantageous combination में result करते हैं। इसी को explain करने के लिए further we see that in China we experience this concept of the township and village enterprises, and there the government supported people and the private business venturers or the entrepreneurs to set up little business units within the little townships and villages, and the idea was to provide employment opportunities to the people that were located within those villages or that were located in the nearby villages that can be utilized, given skill or utilized for the production process of these enterprises that were set up in the rural areas of China. So again we see that this helped in developing clusters where they developed people according to the skill that was needed or required for these entities which were set up, and they were smaller in size, they were smaller in the overall investment that was required to set up these entities. But we see that although they controlled considerably this rural-urban migration, because of this concept of the township and village enterprises, and at the same time they helped in building up these clusters where it was very easy for them to get an access to whatever different types of resources that are required for expansion of a certain already set up enterprise. So we see that in order to control the negativity of this rural urban migration, they have kind of like came up with this formula that they are going to provide with the employment opportunities, ensure a higher wage rate, a higher profit level by setting up the entities closer to the villages and within the villages and small townships so that this problem can be curtailed. But again we see that because of this particular phenomenon there is efficiency was achieved, and they kind of somehow controlled this problem of urbanization to a greater extent. So the idea is that it is not essential to develop the industrial districts alone that is going to help in overcoming this problem of urbanization. The negativities of urbanization, they can be controlled by setting up certain ventures and entities within the less developed areas or the rural areas in order to stop or control this large or massive migration from the rural towards the urban areas. So there may be certain congestion costs that are associated with this concept of urbanization. So the next thing we are going to discuss is this problem which is called urban giantism, and again just I mentioned that if the focus of the government and the investor, because the investor or the firm owner believes that it is fairly easy for me to operate my business if it is located in big cities, and because of these agglomeration economies, because of the positive spillovers, and it is very easy for me to locate the skilled labor of whatever nature and whatever skill I am looking for. So this eventually results in the urban sector which grows into a huge giant. So we need to see that again, that it is not always something which is contributing positively. It may result in some negative aspects also. So the thing which I am going to discuss now is has been labeled as this urban giantism problem, and by urban giantism problem we mean that in the pursuit of a high level of wage, in the pursuit of a better employment opportunity, in the pursuit of an improved standard of life, we observe that a large number of people move from the rural area towards the urban area. But when they actually land there, some of the people who migrate are able to find out the employment opportunities the way they want to. But there are a number of people who difficult to find out the employment opportunities that match the skills or the education or the qualification which they have. And there could be another group of people who just for the pursuit of improved standard of life decide to move from the rural area towards the urban area, but they couldn't find some positive or some improved employment opportunities, and at the same time we assume that these are the people who do not have the required skill. These could be the people who do not have sufficient education level. So instead of taking advantage by moving from the rural area towards the urban area, they end up in terms of a disaster, that they are not earning, they are not finding some appropriate jobs for themselves, and they get in a situation which is considered to be a worse situation, and they start adding towards the slum communities, and these slum communities then we observe with time grow in size considerably. And even in Pakistan, hardly there would be any city. You go to any city, you survey, and you would see that somewhere in the boundaries of these cities, you will see these large communities of slum dwellers. So again, as I was mentioning earlier, that urbanization or the migration from the rural to the urban area brings in a lot of positive things in terms of the agglomeration economies, etc. And we discussed several spillovers, the positive spillovers also. But at the same time, there could be a number of negativities, and these negativities can be observed by looking at these huge large communities of the slums that we see on the boundaries of almost all the cities in Pakistan. And we see that over time the proportion of the population that is living in these slums is also increasing. As we see that the urbanization is the proportion of people living in urban area is growing. At the same time, we see that within these communities of the slum dwellers, the overall proportion of population is also rising significantly. And the bad thing with this particular change is that if you look at the standard of life which is being experienced by these people, or the way these people are living, again we see that the population growth rate is very high among the people who are the slum dwellers, and at the same time we observe that the overall health conditions, the sanitation conditions, and the access to healthy food and clean drinking water, etc. It is all these things are big problems for these people who are growing significantly in number, but as long as the quality of life of these people is concerned, we see that it is not a very it does not show a very nice picture. So that needs to be looked at as well. When we look at the positive side of the urbanization, we need to look at this urban giantism problem also. And there are a number of things that can be done by the government by making different types of policies in order to overcome this urban giantism problem. And if suppose they come up with this import substitution industrialization, that will result in less trade, and a greater number of industrial entities can be set up, and that will generate a large number of employment opportunities, and it will be very easy for the firms to absorb this increased flow of people from the rural area towards the urban area. One might say that they do not have the desired skill, so that skill can be provided. Again, the governments can come up with certain policy combinations or policy mixes in which they can design the industrial policies in such a way that firstly they provide the skills, or on-job trainings can be provided, that when they are working at the same time, some basic information, some basic skills can be provided, and those skills can become of advanced nature as the person's experience is gained, and when the person is spending more and more time in doing a certain activity, a higher degree or a higher level of skill can be provided to the same individual, and this is how the overall manpower can be, the productivity of the overall manpower can be enhanced by providing them with a high level of skill. And this can be mainly done by setting up business entities in the areas that are located closer to the villages, such as I just mentioned, that this urban giantism problem can be controlled following the China's example, that they set up the township and village enterprises within the villages, within the small townships, in order to provide employment opportunities to the people, so that there is no need for them to come from the rural area towards the urban area, and then they contribute towards this increase in the size of the urban areas, and they make them so giant that we see that this problem of urban giantism is there. So if you are able to provide employment opportunities, skill opportunities to the people within those areas where they are located, mainly concentrated in the rural areas in particular, again by doing this, the size of an urban area growing into a giant can be controlled significantly, and this can be very positively done. And for that I mentioned the example of China, which kind of significantly controlled this urbanization and this urban areas growing into giants, although we see that there are some giant cities in China such as Shanghai and Beijing, but they can be further grow and become huge giants, and in order to curtail this kind of a problem, it is necessary to provide the skills and the necessary employment opportunities to the people where they are actually residing. And in order to add to it, the thing which we were talking about, this giantism of the urban areas, I want to show you some statistics, and they are going to provide you a comparison of the population living in the largest and the second largest cities in a number of countries, and we are going to start off with Canada. So again, the concept which I was explaining was the urban giantism problem. So मैं इसको थोड़ा सा explanation करना चाहती हूँ before I explain this table. By urban giantism problem, we see that because of these so many good things, advantages that we have just discussed earlier, मैंने आपको बताया कि agglomeration economies की वजह से, स्पिल ओवर इफेक्ट के होने की वजह से, चूँकि बहुत नाइसली स्किल्ड लेबर मुझे मिल जाती है, मैं एक फर्म को चला रही हूँ मसलन, अगर मैं अपने फर्म को लोकेट करती हूँ किसी सिटी में, फिर अगर मैं अपने फैमिली को यहाँ रखा हुआ है तो मेरे लिए उनके इलाज के लिए उनके स्कूल कॉलेज ये सब फैसिलिटीज़ बहुत नाइसली अवेलेबल है, इसलिए आई वुड लाइक टू स्टे एंड इन्वेस्ट एंड एक्सपैंड in a place which is already developed. So following the same mindset, everybody else is going to do the same, और इसकी वजह से जो आपके urban areas हैं वो huge giant के form में convert हो जाते हैं over time. So this is what is meant by the अर्बन जाइंटिज्म प्रॉब्लम। और जब वो एक सिटी या दो सिटीज बहुत जाइंट हो गए हैं, बाकी के सारे सिटीज कंसिडरेबली स्मॉलर रहते हैं, तो दैट कैन ऑल्सो कॉज अ नंबर ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स। जैसे मैंने अभी आपको बोला कि उन प्रॉब्लम्स में सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम जो ये है कि वहाँ ढेरों के ढेर स्लम ड्वेलर्स बढ़ जाते हैं मसाइल की वजह से कि आपको एम्प्लॉयमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटीज उतने नहीं मिल रहे जितने लोग फिर इनफ्लो करना शुरू कर देते हैं, और इसके साथ ही में और बहुत सारे मसाइल पैदा होने शुरू हो जाते हैं, जैसे एक्सेस ऑफ क्लीन वाटर है, सैनिटेशन की फैसिलिटी है, देयर विल बी अ लार्जर बर्डन ऑन द एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस, देयर वुड बी अ लार्जर बर्डन ऑन द हॉस्पिटल्स, dispensaries, etc., because there is a huge inflow of people. So this is called the urban giantism problem. And then I mentioned that this can be curtailed by taking certain steps. और उसमें सबसे important step जैसे following China ये था कि अभी ये result किया गया है import substitution industrialization की वजह से, जहाँ focus किया गया था कि हम डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज के अंदर वो एरिया जो कि ऑलरेडी डेवलप्ड है उनके पास कहीं ऐसे के वेंचर्स को इस्टेब्लिश करें जहाँ स्किल्ड लेबर आसानी से अवेलेबल हो जाए, जहां इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर ऑलरेडी डेवलप्ड है, और इसकी वजह से जो आपकी जो साइज ऑफ द अर्बन एरिया है वो काफ़ी ज़्यादा सिग्निफिकेंटली डेवलप कर गया। लेकिन अगर आप यही इवन इफ यू वांट टू कंटिन्यू विद दिस इंपोर्ट सब्स्टिट्यूशन इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन, अगर आपने ये वेंचर्स को आप लोकेट करते हैं अर्बन एरिया की बजाय रूरल एरिया के अंदर, तो वहाँ आपको ज़्यादा आसानी के साथ एक लार्जर बेस ऑफ पीपल मिलेगी जो कि अनएम्प्लॉयड है एंड दे कैन बिकम अ पार्ट ऑफ योर वर्कफोर्स। देन देयर इज दिस आर्ग्यूमेंट कि उनकी स्किल लेवल या एजुकेशन लेवल इतनी एडवांस नहीं होती है, प्लस अनदर इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग विच वी सी इफ वी आर प्लेसिंग आर इंडस्ट्रियल एंटिटी और इंडस्ट्रियल यूनिट इन एन एरिया विच इज़ नॉट ऑलरेडी डेवलप्ड, तो वहाँ आपके नेचुरली जो लोग काम करते हैं उनको वो वेरियस अमेनिटीज़ फैसिलिटीज़ हासिल नहीं होंगे जो कि अगर वो लोकेटेड हैं अर्बन एरिया में तो उनको एक्सेस हो सकता है। सो टू आंसर दिस आर्ग्यूमेंट again, we can see that some incentives can be given to the private investors to set up small markets, hospitals, etc. in those areas जहां आप कैपिटल की इन्वेस्टमेंट को लेके जाना चाह रहे हैं ताकि वहाँ के लोकल लोगों को एम्प्लॉयमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ जनरेट हो और उनको मूव नहीं करना पड़े टुवर्ड्स द अर्बन एरिया। अनदर इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग इज़ दैट the governments can develop these training programs जिसके थ्रू आप जो रूरल एरिया में लोकेटेड लोग हैं, रहने वाले लोग हैं, उनको अगर आप ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम्स दें, कोई इंसेंटिव्स दे के, उनको कोई नौकरी का लालच दे के आप उनको ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम दे रहे हैं, उससे ये जो प्रॉब्लम है कि स्किल्ड लेबर अवेलेबल नहीं है इन रूरल एरिया, दैट कैन ऑल्सो बी that can be controlled, and the people will be able to have employment opportunities wherever they are already based, and this large inflow or this migration from rural towards the urban area या urban giantism problem को आप control कर सकते हैं। To show the current scenario of certain countries, यहाँ कुछ कंट्री का डेटा मैं आपके साथ शेयर करने जा रही हूँ। सबसे बड़ी सिटी का मतलब है वो सिटी एक मुल्क के अंदर जहाँ सबसे ज़्यादा बड़ा पॉपुलेशन है को कंपेयर करें अगर आप सेकंड लार्जेस्ट सिटी के पॉपुलेशन से, तो यू विल सी से वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग नंबर्स। फॉर एग्जांपल, द टेबल विच यू आर सीइंग राइट नाउ shows the population of the largest and the second largest cities in certain countries, and the population that has been accounted for in this table is given in millions. So आपको countries के list में देखने को मिलेगा Canada, United States, Argentina, Brazil, Chile, Mexico and Peru. So यहाँ जो सबसे बड़ी city है, for example Canada में, that is Toronto, and the population in Toronto is 5,035 million. But if you compare the population of Toronto with the second largest city in Canada, and it is Montreal, Montreal का जो population है that is 3,603 million. So you can see that straight away दोनों एक हाईएस्ट पॉपुलेशन वाली आपने सिटी ली, आप सेकंड हाईएस्ट वाली ली, और सेकंड हाईएस्ट तक पहुंचने में जो नंबर ऑफ पीपल है उसमें 2000 मिलियन का फर्क है. सो इफ यू कैलकुलेट द रेशियो ऑफ द population in these two cities in Canada, the ratio turns out to be 1.40, which is sufficiently larger कि आपको एक बहुत बड़ी proportion largest city में देखने को मिल रही है पॉपुलेशन की, और सेकंड लार्जेस्ट में देखेंगे कम, और कभी आप थर्ड को, फोर्थ को, फिफ्थ लार्जेस्ट सिटी को काउंट फॉर करेंगे तो आपको देखने को मिलेगा कि वो क्वांटिटी नंबर ऑफ पॉपुलेशन या नंबर ऑफ हेड्स में या नंबर ऑफ इकोनॉमिक एंटिटीज जो कि वहाँ है उसमें बहुत शार्पली डिक्लाइन दिखाने को मिलती है, देखने को हमें मिलेगा. सो दिस इंडिकेट्स द प्रेजेंस ऑफ दिस giant that is located in certain areas of a certain country. पूरी की पूरी कंट्री लैग बिहाइंड कर रही है, और एक जो सिटी है या दो सिटीज हैं वो इतने ज़्यादा स्ट्रांगली डेवलप कर गए हैं. जैसे पाकिस्तान में अगर आप देखें तो आपको कराची इतना ह्यूजली डेवलप देखने को मिलता है, फिर देन कम्स लाहौर, और उसके बाद आपको बहुत छोटे छोटे शहर मिलेंगे, मुल्तान, फैसलाबाद, गुजरावाला, सियालकोट एटसेट्रा. बट इफ यू कंपेयर द साइज ऑफ द इकोनॉमी ऑफ लाहौर एंड कराची विद दी स्मॉल सिटीज के इकोनॉमी, तो आपको देखने को मिलेगा बहुत ज़्यादा फर्क. सेकेंडली आप पॉपुलेशन के साइज को देखेंगे, फिर आपको काफ़ी फर्क देखने को मिलेगा. इन ऑर्डर टू further show you certain interesting figures over here, आप यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स में देखें सबसे ज़्यादा डेंसली पॉपुलेटेड सिटी, लार्ज पॉपुलेशन वाली सिटी, हाईएस्ट बिगेस्ट सिटी इन टर्म्स ऑफ पॉपुलेशन साइज इज न्यूयॉर्क, where the population is 18,727 million, and the second largest is Los Angeles, जिधर population is 12,303 million. So again the ratio is sufficiently large, and you can see the ratio is 1.52. So coming down, another important thing, interesting fact which I want to share with you is for Peru. So Peru में आप देखें जो largest city है उसका population which is Lima का population है 8,081 million. बट अगर आप देखें उसके सेकेंड लार्जेस्ट सिटी को, दैट इज Arequipa, एंड दैट द पॉपुलेशन इज ओनली 0.732 million. सो द रेशियो that indicates the difference in proportion of the population in these two cities that are situated in the same country is given as 11.04, which indicates के 11 टाइम्स ज्यादा पॉपुलेशन आपको लीमा में देखने को मिल रही है एज कम्पेयर टू द सेकेंड लार्जेस्ट सिटी इन Peru. So this is the thing which indicates that we see this giantism problem happening in certain parts of the world where one सिटी और मैक्सिमम दो सिटीज़ बहुत ज़्यादा डेवलप्ड होते हैं या बहुत ज़्यादा पॉपुलेशन से कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड हैं, और बाकी के सारे एरियाज़ जो हैं या सिटीज़ या डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स आपको लो लेवल ऑफ डेवलपमेंट, लो लेवल ऑफ पॉपुलेशन, लो लेवल ऑफ इंडस्ट्रियल एक्टिविटी रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं. सो अगैन सम पीपल हैव ट्राइड टू लिंक अप द अर्बन कॉन्सेंट्रेशन विद पॉलिटिक्स. So this is another important dimension to which this concept of urbanization has been extended to, right? And again we see that there could be situations in countries such as the stable democracies, the unstable democracies can be there. फिर आप stable और unstable dictatorship को ले सकते हैं. So these are the four possible outcomes that can be there अगर आप political setup को लेते हैं किसी भी economy का. So there are certain very interesting findings that explain a very interesting relationship between the urban concentration and the type of political setup prevailing in a certain country. So the thing which I am going to share with you is an output which has been taken from the paper authored by Aids and Edward L. Glazer. The title of the paper is Trade and Circuses, and it explains the urban giants. Right over here in this diagram you will be able to see that along the x-axis ये चार different तरह के political setups जो अभी मैंने आपके साथ discuss किए थे, they have been taken, the stable democracies, the unstable democracies, the stable dictatorship and the unstable dictatorship. So उन्होंने क्या किया, उन्होंने countries लिए जहाँ different तरह के political setups मौजूद हैं और वहाँ इन political setups को का relationship देखा with the population जो कि living in the largest city जो अभी हम डिस्कस कर रहे थे वेरिएबल को, so they have taken into account the population living in the largest city, which is the percentage of urban population. So they observed that the highly concentrated urban area is in those countries जहाँ unstable democracies है और unstable dictatorship exist करती है. And the startling thing which we observe in here is that if the political setup is in a country is stable democracy, there we see that this larger giant city का वाला issue जो है वो हमें नहीं देखने को मिलता है. And we observe that relatively smaller proportion of the total population of the total urban population lives in the largest city in countries where we observe stable democracies. So जहाँ कहीं unstable पॉलिटिकल सेटअप है वहाँ आपको अर्बन जायंट का इशू देखने को मिल रहा है, और जहाँ आपको स्टेबिलिटी मिल रही है रिलेटिवली, वहाँ स्टेबिलिटी इन द पॉलिटिकल सेटअप, वहाँ आपको अर्बन जायंटिज्म वाली इशू या प्रॉब्लम की जो सिवियरिटी है वो आपको कम देखने को मिलती है. सो दिस इज समथिंग व्हिच प्रोवाइड्स विद एन इंटरेस्टिंग कंपैरिजन and an interesting insight into this relationship between the type of political setup and this presence of this urban giantism problem. Another important associated aspect which I am going to discuss with you is the presence of the urban informal sector. जब मैंने slum dwellers की बात की तो मैंने बोला कि there are certain urban areas जहाँ we experience this issue, this problem कि ढेर सारे people have decided, a large number of people have decided to move from the rural areas towards the urban areas, and some of them were able to find out some better or nice jobs, but at the same time there would be a number of people who would be working with the informal sector in the urban area. So we see that because of this urbanization taking place, the size of the informal sector also grows and expands over time, and the number of people that are associated with this informal sector, we see that with time the overall size of these people has gone up considerably. And the good thing with this informal sector is that it is not essential to have a higher level of skills among these people, and even if the skill level is very low, or even if the skills are not there, they can nicely absorbed into this informal sector. So we see that this concept of development of the informal sector is highly encouraged by the governments and by the development economists as well. They say that when we are trying to overcome the negativities that are linked up with this huge migration from the rural to the urban areas, this presence and growth of the informal sector contributes positively in absorbing the excess unemployed people, the people who are not having sufficient skills, or the people who are having certain issues or problems. So they get nicely absorbed within this sector, and the negativities are reduced considerably. Negativities would be there, for example, if the informal sector is not growing or is not altogether there in the urban area, and they are looking for a high level job and the high level job is not available, or there are certain employment constraints, or there are certain skill limitations that are not available among the people who are migrating from one place to another. So as a consequence, this informal sector is absorbing this surplus labor that becomes surplus from this highly sophisticated modern sector, and they get absorbed into this sector. So this is kind of like facilitating the people who are sitting in the low income categories, or the people who fall in the poor categories, and particularly we see that the uneducated, unskilled women get absorbed by this informal sector. So enlargement of the informal sector contributes positively. It is therefore important to strengthen that if we are objecting to, or the objective of a certain government is to reduce the negativities linked up with this increased migration or increased urbanization, then it is essential that the government should try to help this informal sector to grow further, and they should come up with certain policies that could be facilitating for the overall expansion of this urban informal sector. Plus, it can also facilitate women to get absorbed in this informal sector, that the overall income level and the standard of life of the women and the households that are being led by women gets improved. So we see that the employment opportunities that are there in the informal sector are considerably going up because of this overall improvement and development of the urban informal sector we see and observe in the cities. So they absorb a large number of people, and if you look at the number of people employed with the informal sector in the urban areas, you see that a huge proportion of the total population is engaged in the informal sector. And for illustration, you are seeing right now a figure in which the informal employment in selected cities have been shown. So you will see along the vertical axis there are a number of cities, and along the horizontal axis, यानी कि x axis के ऊपर आपको share of the employed population in the informal sector देखने को मिल रहा है. And you can see that a huge proportion of the total population is seen to be absorbed and employed by this informal sector, और particularly वो सारे के सारे cities जहाँ जो overall development level है वो बहुत ज़्यादा high नहीं है, वहाँ आपको देखने को मिलेगा कि employment level बहुत ज़्यादा considerably higher है among the in urban informal sector. So this is a nice way of absorbing this surplus labor which is moving from the rural towards the urban areas. And another important thing which I am going to discuss with you in order to conclude this session, if you look at the components of migration in selected countries, you will be seeing a figure right now जिसमें different shades के साथ रिप्रेजेंट किया गया है जो चार तरह के पॉसिबल माइग्रेशन के रीजंस हो सकते हैं. सो वी सी दैट देयर कुड बी माइग्रेशन फ्रॉम द रूरल टू द अर्बन एरिया, फ्रॉम द रूरल टू द रूरल एरिया, फ्रॉम द अर्बन टू अर्बन एरिया, एंड फ्रॉम द अर्बन टू रूरल एरिया. सो विद इन सर्टन राइट ओवर हेयर कुछ कंट्रीज का डेटा लिया गया है आपको बताने के लिए कि ये चार तरह के माइग्रेशन हो सकते हैं. यू मस्ट बी थिंकिंग कि हाउ कम दिस इज पॉसिबल कि रूरल से रूरल एरिया में लोग माइग्रेट कर रहे हैं या अर्बन से अर्बन एरिया में माइग्रेट कर रहे हैं. दिस इज फेयरली पॉसिबल. फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ सम पीपल आर ऑलरेडी लिविंग इन गुजरावाला एंड दे डिसाइड टू मूव टू लाहौर, या लाहौर में रहने वाले लोगों ने सोचा कि हम कामुकी शिफ्ट हो जाएं, और कामुकी वाले लोगों ने सोचा कि हमें मुल्तान शिफ्ट हो जाना चाहिए. तो दिस इज an example of migration from urban area to urban area. Similarly, there could be migration from the rural area towards rural area. And over here in this table, you can see that we see a diverse breakup of these four different categories of migration from one area to another. But majorly, आपको जो phenomenon देखने को मिलेगी इसमें, dominating phenomenon देखने को मिल रही है, that is a larger size of migration from the rural towards the urban area. So there are theories that explain why this thing happens, and we will discuss in the subsequent sessions the theoretical contributions that explain why people migrate from one place to another. But overall we observe that migration basically improvement in the economic situation के लिए की जाती है, और जहां अर्बनाइजेशन ज़्यादा हो वहां आपको देखने को मिलेगा कि ओवरऑल डेवलपमेंट काफ़ी इंक्रीज हो जाती है, ओवरऑल डेवलपमेंट लेवल जो है वो बढ़ जाता है ऑफ अ कंट्री जिधर अर्बनाइजेशन. सो हाई अर्बनाइजेशन या लार्ज अर्बनाइजेशन इज एसोसिएटेड विद अ हायर improvement in the overall development, economic development of a country. So this is what we have established. Plus हमने discuss किया कि हमेशा ऐसा नहीं है कि अर्बनाइजेशन हो या माइग्रेशन हो फ्रॉम रूरल टू अर्बन एरिया या कोई भी तरह के माइग्रेशन हो तो उससे हमेशा पॉजिटिव इफेक्ट्स ही या एडवांटेजेस ही हमें मिले. देयर कुड बी सर्टेन डिसएडवांटेजेस आल्सो जो हमने डिस्कस किया, दैट इट मे रिजल्ट इन दिस अर्बन जायंटिज्म प्रॉब्लम, और देयर कुड बी सम इश्यूज जैसे हमने स्लम ड्वेलर्स की बात की कि उनका भी साइज काफ़ी हमें इम्प्रूव या इंक्रीज देखने को मिलता है. सो विच इज़ एन अलार्मिंग थिंग, एंड द गवर्नमेंट शुड set up certain policies through which they can contribute in reducing the negativities that could be there because of urbanization and huge migration from the rural towards the urban areas. Thank you.